Your voice, your vote. In just 5 days' time, local voters will make their choice among candidates in a number of races, including La Crosse County Circuit Court judge.
The interim judge, Mark Huseman, is seeking a full term after he was appointed by Governor Tony Evers. And Judge Huseman is facing a challenge from Candice Tlustosch, who previously served on the Branch 5 bench back in 2015, appointed then by Governor Scott Walker to fill the term of former Judge Dale Passell. But Tlustosch was ultimately defeated in the election by Judge Gloria Doyle. Tlustosch recently sat down with me to talk about experience and issues. Candice, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
One of the major issues that we've reported this, 54 overdose deaths in La Crosse County this past year alone, a record number. At the same time, La Crosse is known for its drug treatment court, something that's been modeled throughout the state and even elsewhere in the country. How do you think a judge balances this idea of compassion with accountability in these cases?
So I think the answer to that is really the same as it is for any other type of crime or case. Even though the law applies the same to everyone, I think it's really important to really look at the individual human in each case. So you're going to have cases where somebody just needs a little help, they need a little bit of correction, maybe there's something in their past that they just kind of haven't gotten over, that they keep repeating the same cycle. I think we can really do a lot of work to help them get past that and get back into a point where they are, contributing to society and not running into that same problem again. On the other hand, there's definitely those cases where punishment is appropriate, and if someone is not receptive to doing that work, to kind of curb those things to keep them from landing in that same position, I think that it's, punishment is absolutely necessary and appropriate.
And how does the mental health aspect balance into all that?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I think sometimes one of those things, sometimes when we see people, just repeating that same cycle over and over, landing in the same position, even though they know they're making the same mistake, sometimes it's a mental health issue in their background. Sometimes it's a trauma they haven't gotten over. Sometimes it's just as simple as needing some extra tools to figure out a different way to handle their life.
What about your experience sets you apart in this campaign?
Yeah, so I think, really one of the real big areas that sets me apart and really makes me a good candidate for this position is I've been doing trial work for almost 2 decades now. Really, since I came out of law school, I've been doing trial practice and representing the people behind the cases and bringing them into court. And I think not only is that experience necessary to make those very quick judgment calls that you need to do while you're in court as a judge, but also really to understand the people behind the cases and really understand what's going on in their lives and how they got to where they are, kind of like I talked about in the beginning, where sometimes there's that one issue that they just really need to get over or get through. And in the last, there was a stretch this fall where I had 5 trials in the course of 5 months across 4 different counties in front of 5 different judges. That's a lot, but that really that's the kind of experience that a judge needs to be able to handle those cases from the bench.
Now, we did also address the recent mailings that were sent out by a super PAC urging voters to support Tlustosch. And you can see her response to Judge Huseman calling for her to disavow those mailers by going to WXW.com. And coming up tomorrow night, my one-on-one with Judge Huseman, who says there's one thing in particular that sets him apart in this race.